out of here.
Yeah, no, that they're never going to accept that. That's not how it works. It's Shingeki no Kyojin because Kyojin doesn't really mean Titan. It means like giant or something. I don't fucking know. Actually, I am gonna go to translate and check and see what that actually means.
It basically means the same thing. It's really not that big of a difference.
Kyojin literally translates to giant. There we go. I was right.
Yeah. What sounds better, Attack on Giant or Attack on Titan?
I just told you. Shingeki no Kyojin. That's the one that sounds best because it's in Japanese and makes it sound mysterious and foreign because we don't actually understand the fucking words, but we pretend to because it makes us seem smart and more cultured even though we actually aren't, and Japanese people would laugh at us.
What if we decided to not translate the thing into a language that we understand because it sounds cooler, even though to anybody who's like has that language natively would just mock us. Gosh,
What's wrong
why
with
are we
you? Is
so
that how
weird?
you pronounce it with your accent? That sounds stupid. What's wrong with you? Say it right. Uh, yeah.
Oh,
And then they get called a gaijin and wouldn't realize that it's basically a racial slur and just think it means foreigner.
mm-hmm.
Mm, weebs can be irritating sometimes. Spoken as someone who was, in the past, a minor weeb, let's say. I took a minor in weeb.
It makes me. I'm just remembering the people like the Dragon Ball Z fans who are like, it's not Super Saiyan, it's Super Saiyajin, it's
Oh, God.
SSJS.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
So it was SSJGSSJ in
Yep.
Japanese.
Yep. Mm-hmm. This is why
Or Super Saiyajin Ow, because that means blue.
just call it Super Saiyan Blue like everyone else. It's fine. And just call the other one Super Saiyan Red or whatever. It doesn't matter.
So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 327. Fandom Flux is lost and found in translation.
He's trying to decide the title. You hear that?
I did, but I'm too tired to stop him. Uh, this is your chance. Is this your chance? Persona 4 references, they're still cool, right? Golden came out on Steam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It did. I still have to play that. I haven't
Yeah,
actually
me too.
beaten or played Golden, to be honest. I remember I bought it for my brother as a Christmas present when he had a PS Vita, but I never actually played it.
Yeah, I specifically bought a PS TV just so I could play it because, like, fuck, I was going to play on a Vita. And this was after the PS TV was discontinued, so I got that thing for like £40, 40 quid, price
Uh-huh.
of the game. Yeah, and I played it up to, I want to say, Risei's dungeon, and that's as far as I got before.
Hmm.
I honestly don't remember why I stopped, but I did.
Hmm.
Still a good game though.
Strikers just came out. Persona 5 Royal Strikers just
Not
came,
royal.
or not Royal, Persona 5 Strikers
Yeah.
specifically. It just came out. I'm probably gonna play that either today or tomorrow and
Yeah.
get started on that.
It very specifically does not include Royal because it does not follow Royal canon. It follows the original Persona 5 canon.
I thought that it wasn't going to be released in the United States until Tuesday.
I need to go check. I've been hearing people already playing it, so maybe I was just...
That
Well,
might
of
be
course,
on
people already
Switch.
played it.
No, it came out on the 20th, yesterday.
Guess I
Game.
was just... Guess I was just looking at the... Okay, I know it came out in Japan yesterday, but...
It's been out in Japan for a long time.
You know, it's out on PS4. It might be just delayed coming to other things. Let me just go check. I believe. Oh, okay. No, PS4 is getting it on Tuesday. Oh, then how did they? Some people got early release. Gosh darn it! It's got to wait a few days. Oh, the people who bought the deluxe edition, that's what it was. Which grants you access to the game 4 days earlier on February 19th. That's what it was.
I should have pre-ordered it.
Yeah, who cares? You'll get to play it when it comes out anyway. Also, Persona Royal is coming to PC.
Still haven't beaten that game, have you?
On the Epic Games Store.
Oh gosh, all the Kingdom Hearts stuff coming to the Epic Games Store too, but it's all full priced. No bueno.
Yeah. And no, I still haven't finished that game. Shut up. It's my response to that. I played fucking Spider-Man instead. Because that game's still good. I still enjoy that game greatly.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it a lot.
I started a new save on Ultimate difficulty. Because that's the trophy I haven't gotten. That game is a little brutal on Ultimate difficulty.
Do you just like die when an enemy touches you?
You get about 2 hits of melee damage. Bullets, it's like if you get hit by a 3-round burst, which is how most guns shoot you, then it's the same. But you can just get hit by 1 or 2 bullets, and it's mostly fine.
You can get clipped, but if you get hit directly, you're dead.
You're not dead, but like I say, it's 2 of those, and that's it. You're out.
That's brutal.
Yeah, kind of. But, you know.
Especially in the bigger fights.
Spectacular, which I think is the next difficulty down, was like 3 hits. So it's not that big a difference, but it's, you know, it's a little rougher. Makes doing the challenges for like the crime time stuff a bit more dicey is what it does for that. Ooh. But yeah, I need to web dudes to walls. Okay. I've got 8 dudes in a fucking firing line standing inside of a jewelry store, but sure, I can web some people to walls. Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I think they don't really test out higher difficulties in games.
Yeah. I was literally barely starting the game. It was one of the first crime times I got. And it was just like, I go to this jewelry store that's being robbed. Every single dude in it had an assault rifle. So there's like 6 dudes inside the jewelry store. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be dodging a lot. So I'm just running about, barely avoiding getting shot, getting clipped by bullets. And then while I'm just getting like a couple hits in every now and again, I take so long that backup arrives in a car filled with dudes who also have assault rifles. And then I died because of course I did.
Can't you just give one of them a pistol? Just one.
Yeah, so that was an experience. It was fun, though. Like, it's frustrating, but it was fun. I don't think I've done much else though.
All right.
I got frustrated with Kingdom Hearts and blah, and then Spider-Man, and then that was basically it.
And then just writing.
Yeah, that's been my weekend.
So, there was a Nintendo Direct.
Oh, there was. Yes, I watched. Well, I didn't watch it live, but I watched Keith's live reaction to it, which was very sad.
A lot of people had big expectations because this is the first Nintendo Direct, like just a general one in a very, very long time. Um, I also think people forgot what Nintendo Directs like this entail, because usually it's a lot of just stuff you don't care about, and then like one or two things you care about. Um, and I think people were expecting a lot because there's been a lot of quietness, but that's really mostly due to COVID slowing everything down.
Yeah, it felt like there was at least one thing for pretty much everyone, but usually it was only one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were people that were pretty excited for Mario Golf, and there were people...
Oh, man. Can we talk about that for a second? I love Mario Golf.
I was
Mario
making
Golf
a
is one of my
point,
favorite.
not thinking that someone was going to just jump on Mario Golf, but okay, let's talk about Mario Golf.
Mario Golf Super Rush. Okay, we haven't had a Mario Golf game in forever. In fact, let me see if I can find when the last Mario Golf game was.
GameCube.
I think it's GameCube. Um, okay. So, it was the 3DS Mario Golf World Tour, and that was like 7 years ago.
Really?
And nobody played that. The GameCube one, which was the last sort of main console one, was GameCube 2003. So it has been 18 years since a console Mario Golf game.
Yeah, like, I watched Keith's reaction, and he was like, I don't care about any of this, but that Project Triangle strategy looks kind of fucking cool, Final Fantasy Tactics kind of thing. Yeah, I'm into that. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the highlights from Maximilian Dude, and he was basically like, I don't care about any of this, because he's a fighting game guy, and there were no fighting games. But when he saw Super Mario Golf, he was like, fuck yes!
Everybody loves Mario Golf.
Not everybody, clearly.
You know. I mean, the only Mario Golf game I ever played was the one on the Nintendo 64, and that was when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I liked it all right, but well, I'm not sure about it being one of my favorite games. Now that speed golf mode that they introduced, I watched a few live reactions, and even the people who weren't overly into Mario Golf said, okay, that looks like fun. Myself included.
So, Mario Golf, a big reason why a lot of people have that sort of nostalgia for it is Toadstool Tour on the GameCube was really good. Like, it was really good. And everybody has a lot of fun memories with that. This has a speed mode where you can use power-ups and you race and you don't take turns. It's just hit it really hard, then race to your ball and keep hitting it until you get it in.
Yeah.
Which is very fun. It makes golf much faster.
Yeah. That is a thing in quite a few golf games. It's not just like the arcadey golf ones, like, you know, Mario Golf.
Mm-hmm.
But a little less zany than this will be. Like, it doesn't have power-ups or anything. You just fucking run to the ball.
this is also likely to have other modes. Because Mario sports games in general have tons of different side modes and mini games, and they like to have fun with the basic sports mechanics.
Yeah, I imagine there is going to be like a wacky driving course kind of thing. Driving as in like long shots, not
Yeah.
karts or anything. Well, golf
Also,
Mario
carts,
Kart
maybe.
combined with Mario Golf. Imagine that.
That sounds plausible. I could
so
see them doing that.
uh, I'm really just excited for this. And there's a story mode, and the story mode has you play as you're me with RPG mechanics for upgrading your stats and building your golfer in a very specific way, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the Tiger Woods games, back when they were the Tiger Woods games. Uh, that and creating courses, but that's probably not going to be a thing in Mario Golf. But that's not a thing in basically any golf game nowadays. It's very
Mm-hmm.
sad. I
But
remember crafting courses with rolling blue fairways and purple rough and neon green water hazards and stuff. It was fun.
I'm very excited for Mario Golf. This is
It could
something
be
that just
cool.
makes me happy. Um, One thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, I don't like the UI because it has that very Super Mario Party esque modern Nintendo UI stuff, and I'm not a big fan of that. And I know that there were a lot of there were some issues with Super Mario Party in terms of how it kind of dumbs some things down. I hope that's not the case here. Doesn't look like it, but oh, it's developed by Camelot, which I know I have a friend who is very saddened by that because they're the people who make the Golden Sun games, and they can't make a Golden Sun game if they're developing Mario sports games. And he wants more Golden Sun.
Hmm. Well, that sucks for them, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
what else did they have? They had fucking that Me game that no one will care about because it looks like the fucking 3DS Street Pass games.
Metopia, which that was a classic, fun little game. I don't think it's worth the money to buy it, but hey, it's a fun little thing.
Uh, Triangle Strategy, we mentioned briefly. Final Fantasy Tactics, kind of.
Oh, that looks yeah.
I I haven't played Octopath Traveler myself, and I will admit that just from the name alone, I was severely thinking it to be more along the lines of Splatoon than a classical RPG like this. But no, that looks like a really fun game with the variable morality system.
Mm.
It does seem interesting to me, and I heard from the reactors that Octopath Traveler has its flaws, but now that I see what kind of game it is, I'm a bit more inclined
Yeah.
to want to try it.
I did play Octopath Traveler. I can probably give a few thoughts on that. Um, Specifically, Octopath Traveler has number one, it doesn't have a story really. It has 8 characters that you can kind of pick up in any order and start with from any order. But as a result, this means that there's almost no interactions between those characters until like the very last dungeon in the game.
Okay, that's a little bit disheartening.
And it suffers from the lack of story, and it also has, this is my personal issue, is it has a very high random encounter rate just traveling through the world, and that gets really frustrating really quick.
I see. Well then, maybe I'll start with Project Triangle Strategy once it comes out, under the assumption that they're taking everything good about the game and bringing it back, and taking everything bad about the game and improving on it.
Well, that's the thing.
So,
It's
Hmm.
a different genre. It's more akin to Fire Emblem than it is.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought at first that it was something to do with Fire Emblem Three Houses when I saw that clothing styles and the three different trays on the scale. Is that the right
Yeah,
word?
yeah, that works. I I think they. One thing I will say though, Octopath Traveler had a lot more problems in the demo, and then they learned from the demo, and then they released a newer demo with a lot of changes, and they just kept listening to feedback and feedback and feedback. So they're very attentive to that sort of thing. So it
Okay,
looks
that's
like with Triangle Strategy, they took into account people were upset at the lack of more of a story focus, and they made a very story focused game in exchange.
Mm.
And then they released a demo. I haven't played the demo yet, but they're going to take feedback from that and work it in because that's what they do.
it's a good way to do things. Rather than working on completing the whole game first, you complete enough of a sample of the game to get everyone's feedback on what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't, and then you improve from there on the final product.
Mm.
It's a good strategy if done well, I think,
Yeah,
and they seem to be doing it well.
it does. It can run the risk of design by committee, which it certainly has its drawbacks of yeah, we're trying to satisfy everybody and in doing so satisfy nobody, but
You can never please everyone. You have to keep the core parts of the game, but if a majority of people are disliking or praising certain parts, or in a more universally acceptable way, if they're pointing out glitches or flaws or that sort of thing. Although I had assumed that they'd be sort of easy to catch in a demo, at least.
yeah, it's a matter of managing the different factors of the development of the game, say like utility and liberty and morality, for example. It's a joke because that's the thing in the game. They're probably also going to change the name of the game for this one, unlike what they did with Octopath, because
No, don't
wow,
change it. Let it
wow, that
be
is a
as
bad
bad as
name.
possible. We have Octopath, that's 8. We have Triangle Strategy. I can't wait for for freaking like
Dodecahedron dominance.
quadrilateral combat.
They could what's the word I'm looking for here?
Iterate?
No, that's not it. Like, like they could run with it is
Mm-hmm.
the general gist of what I'm trying to say. If they embrace it, they could make it a thing, make it a quirk, I guess.
They could do like a romance dating sim game and call it Heptagonal Heartbreak. There aren't enough uses of heptagons in anything. Like, we need more representation for that 7 sides. I think they're just going to call it Sword and Iron, honestly.
Nonagon Knight.
Nonagon Knights. They're trying to bring 99 Knights back.
Yeah.
Going a little bit more, like, reasonable, a little smaller scale. Nonagon Knights.
So there was that
Troops.
Triangle Strategy. Also, Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword HD is coming to Switch. With
Hi, I'm here, the
forward to-
developer of Legend of Zelda. I bet you're thinking I'm here to tell you something about Breath of the Wild 2. Nope.
yes, oh,
I mean, at least they're being transparent about it.
just show the trailer for Skyward Sword HD. You don't have to explain it.
Well, I think that it would be better that he said that as opposed to him not saying anything and just leaving fans waiting for news on Skyward Sword, like fans are still waiting for the announcement of something to do with Metroid's 35th anniversary or the long-awaited remakes of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum.
Well, I feel like he didn't need to say anything and just not be there and just show the trailer for Skyward Sword, make it really obvious it's not the Zelda people actually want, like right off the bat. But I feel like they could have just done that and been like, yeah, this is the thing that we're doing.
So
The other thing's going to be a while.
so to tie us over until Breath of the Wild 2, we got Age of Calamity. We got announced in this thing an Age of Calamity expansion pack with new characters, new everything. And then we get Skyward Sword HD that comes with some fancy new Zelda Joy-Cons, which immediately sold out everywhere. Um, Seriously, I want them, but I can't get them. That makes me sad.
You sucker.
I want them. I need new Joy-Cons. Actually, like legitimately.
Of course you do. They break like tissue paper.
No, it's specifically my left one. I swapped it out for a one that has a D-pad, but as a result, that one cannot be used except when attached to the controller. So, and the left one, the older left one was kind of messed up, so I need a just new set. And yeah, I was really disappointed by this,
By what?
by the whole no Breath of the Wild 2 news, but we'll get you later this year. Because I mean, yeah, you've added in the ability in Skyward Sword to now use controller instead of having to Wiimote and nunchuck it.
To waggle. Yeah.
And that's great. That improves accuracy. That makes that game a lot more fun to play because your sword strikes are actually on the triggers, which I feel like that'll be fun. But come on.
I'd say it's the Zelda that no one played except Spirit Tracks exists.
Skyward.
I'm planning on getting that one as soon as I finish with Phantom Hourglass.
Skyward Sword has issues. It reuses a lot of like bosses and certain challenges because it is probably like the most empty in terms of content in comparison.
That's because it's the first one chronologically. These bosses are all the same because this is the first time you ever fight them, even though it's not because you fought them in other games. But chronologically, it's the first time you fight them.
I mean, when I say reusing bosses, I mean they're reusing the one boss you fight in another dungeon later on. There's no reason why you're fighting the same boss twice. Like that happens.
But you're fighting the same boss twice for the first time, Zero. Sorry, they really hammered that point in during the direct. That hey, this is the first one in the timeline that people apparently really give a shit about for some reason.
I like Skyward Sword has a really good story, has really good character writing in it. It's held back by it's an awkward transition phase between Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, they also mentioned that hey, this is the last one that was made with all of the old mechanics and motifs that Zelda tended to have so always had.
Yeah, so they have like you can upgrade your shield, you can upgrade your various items by collecting drops and stuff, and you can or spending rubies, all this sort of stuff. But it's a weirdly like it's very linear, and the elements of the overworld that you can explore, which is like the big, oh, you're above the clouds, you can fly in your loft wing. It's mostly empty. It's not like Wind Waker where you have a humongous world filled with so many different fun islands and challenges. It's mostly empty. There's really not a lot to do. But hey, we have Groose in HD, so I think that's fine. The Groose is loose. Um, and that is for the Age of Calamity expansion pass. Hey, yeah, I like that game. I have a few problems with it, but it's fine.
Apparently, it runs like
Guess I can
shit.
play.
Yeah, Keith was very vocal about
It's
it, kind of playing like shit.
it's not that bad. Like I was able to deal with it. It was fine.
I'm just pulling up all the announcements in a list. We got
Yeah, I got him.
Smash, obviously. Xenoblade characters. Well,
We got Pyra and
character
Mithra.
technically.
So, interesting story about this. In another Discord server I'm in, I have a friend there who I've known for a few years, and
Let
he
me
has, yeah.
let me just cut in really quick. I don't know any spoilers for Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'd like to keep it that way, so just let me know if you're going to be venturing into spoilers territory.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil anything. Um, but for the longest time, since before release, or since the release of Xenoblade 2, this friend of mine has desperately wanted Rex from Xenoblade 2 in as a Smash character. His hopes were initially dashed when Rex came in as a Mii costume. And since that day, he's still been holding on of I want Xenoblade 2 representation. And he got really, really mad when Joker got announced because he's like, oh no, this bigger one. He got really competitive and toxic. Eventually played Persona 5. It's like, yeah, no, I like Joker now. But like he was toxic for a while. And after having a whole character arc and growth and redemption, now at this point, they announce a Xenoblade 2 representative, and it's Pyra and Mithra, and Rex is there for the final smash and the taunt. You know what? We take those.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that is a thing that is now in Smash. Woo. I'll fucking play that game again at some point, I swear.
I'm excited for Pyra and Mithra. They look very fun, and it's nice to have a switching character again that's not just Pokemon Trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we lost Zelda and Sheik, and it's nice to have the dynamic back, although the difference in moveset isn't quite as contrasting. I'm not good at coming up with the words I'm looking for today, but you get what I'm going for.
The design intent that I was able to surmise was Mithra is meant to be faster, whereas Pyra is meant to have more, strength behind her hits.
Yep. Fire and lightning. That's the thing. That's the motif. Miitopia was a thing. Super Rush. Animal Crossing has Mario shit in it now. Yay.
I'm glad. I've been wanting that stuff in there since the release. Give me more
Actually,
Nintendo items. I'm actually being honest here. In the older Animal Crossing games, they had tons of fun little Nintendo items you could find. Like you could have a Triforce in your house or an R-Wing. And now with the ability to put like items outside, having that stuff would be really nice. But now they're just adding the Mario stuff in. And you know what? I'll take it. I want more, please. I'm very happy for this, though.
Fall Guys coming to Switch. People were kind of shitty about this. Like, oh, Fall Guy isn't the fucking flavor of the month anymore. It's still fucking popular. Shut the fuck up.
I haven't played Fall Guys myself. I don't really know anything about it besides the name.
It is a party game where you play as little wobbly dude who goes through basically Ninja Warrior style courses, or Wipeout if you ever watched that show.
Sounds fun enough.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Outer Wilds is also coming.
Yeah, that game is critically acclaimed and looks like a game that is critically acclaimed. Yep.
Something that's kind of interesting that I think flew under the radar is Famicom Detective Club.
You
Um,
have an interesting definition of the word interesting, but sure, let's go with that.
it's interesting because of the history, because these were two detective games that released on the Famicom disk system in the 80s. They have never been released in the US. They have never been re-released ever.
Yeah,
And now they're both coming with modern graphics, gameplay, and voice acting to the Switch. So that's really fun.
Okay, let's actually say what Famicom is because not everyone actually knows Famicom is the Japanese name for the NES.
Yes. So this is like an old thing that's being remade and brought to the Switch and localized for the first time in decades. So that's cool.
Plants vs Zombies. No one cares.
Nope, no one cares. No More Heroes 3 has a release date finally.
Before that, Anaguma Interactive announced Neon White, which was right anime heaven game. Sure.
It looks a little bit like Mirror's Edge, but you have cards, so I don't know.
It looks like it's going to be this Direct's version of Astral Chain, where it looks really cool. No one's going to play it when it comes out.
I played Astral Chain when it came out. It was really fun.
I know you did, but you're very much its core audience. And outside of the core audience, no one fucking played that game. So
hey, how about that Stubbs the Zombie? How about the Stubbs the Zombie trailer?
That's a thing that exists. Stubbs the Zombie.
How did that make it?
Well,
like, how did that get in?
They're having trouble getting the Crash and Spyro ports onto the system.
Oh my! That trailer was so bad. It was so bad.
It very much looked like it was made when Stubbs the Zombie first came out.
Now, you want to talk about a bad trailer? That one at least coherently described what's coming, what kind of game it is, and what it's trying to do. You want a bad trailer? Look at the one for Knockout City. I don't think anyone understood what was going on there.
It's Dodgeball.
It starts off talking with all these different characters from different game genres. Like, this is gonna be a mashup. It's like, no, it's just Dodgeball. Yeah. Why do you have those characters here? Why would you reveal the game in this way?
It was weird, but it isn't the game I would play, but it looked decent enough. Kind of got a Windjammers kind of feel to it, in terms of sort of wacky pseudo sports.
Mm-hmm. Monster Hunter Rise showed new monsters. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I still need to get into that franchise.
I tried, apparently, with one of the worst entries in the game series, so...
I played the demo. It was pretty fun.
Star Wars Hunters. Yeah, it's exactly the kind of game that EA makes, and thus fucking ignore it.
Free-to-play online shooter from the makers of Farmville.
Oh, right, they own fucking Zynga. I forgot EA owns them. Age of Calamity. World's End Club is the Danganronpa, but not game.
This has been actually kind of hinted and teased by the creators that, like, the creators of Danganronpa and Zero Escape would be working on a project together, and they're both they're really good writers and really good at creating mysteries, and I'm actually really excited for this. The art style is very Ken Sugimori, very Pokemon-esque. And basically the premise is all these people are brought together. It's supposed
to happen, but then doesn't.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the death game, but then it gets canceled, and it's like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna go find out what the hell's going on in this world.
It's a pretty bold choice to be like, yeah, this is another one of those games that we always do, but something fucked up, so fix it. I guess. I don't know.
You're free to go wander, and it's like, well, we're wandering and nobody is around outside, and everything is like apocalyptic. What happened? And so it's a mystery revolving around the world that they're in.
Yeah. Legend of Mana remake is literally all this announcement text says. This is Legend of Mana remake. Cool.
Some people love it, some people don't. I never played it.
Again, there's one thing exactly here for everyone. Some people it was Legend of Mana. Tales from the Borderlands. Okay, whatever. Saga Frontier. I don't even know what that is. Ninja Gaiden.
Collection.
Yeah, trilogy, basically, ported. It's probably going to run like shit. No More Heroes 3. You mentioned this earlier. No More Heroes 3. Gameplay footage. Fighting aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing that.
Maybe. It's good to be hopeful. Physical version of Hades. Okay. Like that is a game that I am very fond of, let's say. I don't care about a physical release. Like,
I don't know why you would put that in a direct. But hey. Whatever.
Stubbs a zombie, and that's pretty much it. That's everything. Oh!
There's also Splatoon
3. Yeah.
So, Splatoon 3 is coming out next year, 2022. And I remember I was watching some reactions. People are just like, didn't Splatoon 2 like just come out? And the answer is no.
Yeah,
it'll have been out for like 6 or 7 years by the time it comes out. Like Splatoon 3 comes out. Just rapidly feel myself aging.
That was their big closer. I feel like they got that backwards. That should have been the opener, and the fucking Smash character should have been the closer.
You underestimate how big Splatoon 3 actually is, especially in Japan. Like, it has become one of their biggest franchises. And I feel like a lot of people underestimate that. So one thing I really like about this is immediately you can see there is an overworld in like there's a city where it's obviously for like multiplayer stuff, and there is a big desert which seems to be more focused for, I guess, single player stuff. And Splatoon is a universe set after basically the world ends. It is a post-apocalypse story.
Yep.
And you can just see the Eiffel Tower upside down, ripped from the ground in the background. And I'm like, okay, what happened here? And
the deserts of France.
One thing, the deserts of France. I really liked the Octo expansion, which was the last thing for Splatoon 2. Like, story-wise, it was an incredibly good story mode with some really hype boss fights and really well-designed levels. And seeing that they are putting like a little extra focus on story, and even having you have a little buddy that follows you around that you can customize a little bit. That's great. I'm really excited for that. And also, finally, in multiplayer matches, you can choose your spawn point. You have a free choice of where you spawn in, and that is huge. It means no spawn camping.
So
that makes me happy.
That was the direct. There's something for everyone, I guess.
I was pretty happy with it. I mean, I still have a big disappointment in, but it's been 2 years since the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and I haven't even seen a piece of concept art.
Just feel bad for the Metroid fans who got told there was going to be a 4, and then literally the entire game got scrapped and they're starting over.
I'm curious if Nintendo's going to do the E3 thing, where they showcase. Oh yeah, E3 time. Here's to show all our big games. Because if they are going to be doing that, um, that might explain why they're holding some things back a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
They did say in the
And
promo for this it was supposed to be the first 6 months of, like, the next 6 months rather, of games, which takes us pretty conveniently to starting the marketing cycle at around about, I don't know, end of June, start of July, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a lot that they're holding back. But freaking Hideki Kamiya was just like, just forget about Bayonetta 3. And it's like, okay. I
No,
guess we'll forget about Bayonetta 3.
never.
I guess we'll have to if you announce it, like, I don't know how many years in advance now.
The original giant lady that everyone loved. Not everyone loved her at the time, actually.
The Bayonetta 3 teaser trailer came out 4 years ago. 2017.
Ooh.
Ow.
Well, I mean, Platinum Games had to make Astral Chain that very successful game, didn't they? So.
They're bigger than just being able to focus on one game at a time. But gosh, what have they released since 2017? Because I know they did the remaster, the port remaster of Wonderful 101, which they did a Kickstarter for. They're also working on the thing, Babylon's Fall.
Platinum Games, 2017 was Nier Automata, obviously, Lost Order, World of Demons, Astral Chain, Wonderful 101, and currently working on Project GG, Bayonetta 3, Babylon's Fall, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and...
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, that's it. The last one is Scalebound, that for some reason is still on the list.
Yep.
People really wanted that game.
But yeah, big Nintendo Direct. Lots of news, lots of disappointment, lots of frustration from people who did not want Pyra and Mithra and Smash. It's fine. There's always going to be Smash Salt, no matter who gets announced. There was Smash Salt for Sephiroth, and you see a lot of those Zoomers coming in, and it's like, who's Sephiroth?
Oh, he's that guy from the game that came out this year.
They still don't know. They still don't know. You'd think they would. They still don't. Because there's like people who the only game they play is just Smash.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'd be delighted if a Fortnite character came into the roster.
Yo, Jonesy?
Is that actually the name of a character?
Yeah, that guy. I didn't even know that until I was watching the Sephiroth trailer, and like I was watching reactions, and I saw a reactor being like, "Yo, is that Jonesy?" And I'm like, they have a name for a character in that game."
I don't actually know whether that's dedication to the fandom of Fortnite. Does Fortnite have a fandom? Like, my understanding was no one actually cares about the, whole point of the original game, which was, building shit and staving off zombie invasions. So all the characters didn't actually matter. they would just placeholder avatars for people to use.
At least with like Minecraft, you have Minecraft Steve who has reached deific meme status.
Dude eats a lot of
Like
steak.
everybody knows Minecraft Steve. It's the default skin. It's not really a character either. That's why they made it so that you could swap skins and play different characters and stuff for the alternate colors.
It was very awkward to see the Scottish one for reasons.
But yeah. Thanks Nintendo for not announcing Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, you did announce that there was going to be news. Didn't tell me when.
Thanks Nintendo for not announcing news about Breath of the Wild 2 because it means Zero won't be talking about it for the next 3 months. It's going to be cool. I'm pretty okay with that.
I see how it is.
Yeah, you do. I still fucking hate that game. God damn it.
But hey, you know, to each their own.
I have never managed to get into a Legend of Zelda game. Not a single time.
It's not for
you tried.
Sorry?
He said, "How many times have you tried?" I said, "It's not for everyone."
Let's see. I tried to play. Okay, I did play A Link to the Past. I got a decent way in and found it boring and stopped. I played. What's the really popular one? The name's escaping me. I'm tired.
Ocarina of Time.
That's the one. I played that for quite a bit. Did the whole Deku Tree thing and then stopped. And I tried Majora's Mask, which was a no-go from the start because that's some deep dive shit into the Zelda series, and that was just not going to happen when I've not really gotten into any of the basic ones. And Minish Cap, I think that was GBA.
Mm-hmm.
That was the closest I got to enjoying a Legend of Zelda game. Until it crashed, and my save file got corrupted.
That just sounds like unfortunate, like, technology issues.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, didn't exactly endear me to the series either. And there was another one. Shit, there was another one. Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yep. So it isn't like I haven't tried, but no.
So you played Ocarina of Time, you got through the tutorial dungeon and then stopped.
Pretty much.
You had a save file.
Tell a lie. I got to rock dudes, I think.
Gorons, yes.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time, I think. I distinctly remember seeing the rock dudes.
Minish Cap you were enjoying, but then messed up. And
I think I got to the third dungeon on that one.
Link to the Past, you had the issue of that I sometimes have, where it's like this game is old, and
it wasn't that it was old; it was just that it was kind of boring.
Because the thing about Link to the Past is that it is meant to be the game where you can do any dungeon in any order, and so it's something you have to kind of take slow and take your time with. I think Link Between Worlds, which is the 3DS sort of kind of remake, takes a lot of what it does and adds in a lot of storytelling and a lot of other fun things to it, which I really like. Link Between Worlds. I never actually completed A Link to the Past, but I completed A Link Between Worlds. Ocarina of Time. I got to basically the same place that you did, and I stopped like a long time ago. And I only actually beat it once I got the 3DS remake of it because that was just fun and there's some good quality of life features.
Hmm. Yeah. I
I think my
I
I
think at
think you'd
this
actually
point
like some of the top down ones, but yeah.
I think at this point I've very much tried enough times to get into the series. I don't get the hype at all. It just is so aggressively not for me that I'm just not gonna try anymore. It is
Right,
one of
you
those
know that's
things that
fair.
has passed me by.
Yeah, I get that. There's definitely some series where it's just like, well, it's cool that you enjoy that. I'm not going to go do that because
Mm.
I have friends who are like super into to Bravely Default and now that series, and it's just like,
Oh,
nope,
yeah.
not for me.
That is another one that I tried, and I really tried on that one, and nope, no.
Like, yeah, it. I think it all really depends on what you value in a game, and everything is going to appeal to that differently. Because I remember, like I have friends who absolutely like Breath of the Wild is my favorite game ever, and then I hear you and Slice being like that durability. I hate it. I hate it. I never. It's the worst decision possible. So like I hear kind of both sides of that,
Mm.
but hey,
Different strokes and all that stuff.
different strokes for different folks.
Different
Because I
strokes it
know,
takes. Different strokes it takes. Yeah, different strokes to something.
um, so
What you talking about,
this
Lewis?
yeah,
I'll stop.
uh, this week D&D session. Obviously, it's really counted down. I threw some very powerful enemies at my players because they are level 20, and that means that they basically just break everything.
Mm.
It is very hard to create combat encounters that don't take forever, but are also challenging for a level 20 party. Because typically you're like, well, we'll just increase the stats. But if you increase the stats and make it so the enemies have more HP so they last longer, that fight is going to last for like 3 or 4 hours.
Mm.
Because everybody has to take their turn, and turns take a long time, and there's turn order.
Yum.
Yeah, I just can't wait to hit the finale on this game, and then
Dumb
focus all of my attention on
everything
the.
right back down.
What was that?
Dumb everything right back down to like level 2.
Because I'm DMing 2 games, and the other game is like level 11. And hey, that's a nice like mid-level area to shoot for.
When things are just about starting to get complicated a little bit, but manageable.
Versus level 20, where it's just like, cool, I'm going to use my divine intervention. They're going to go over there. They're going to cast Wish. She's going to cast True Polymorph. This guy over here, he's going to use his Quivering Palm on the boss to make it so that if the boss fails the save, they drop to 0 HP. Hmm. Oh, by the way, here's the fighter with 4 attacks per round with a very high-powered magical weapon, and then they get buffed by all the high-level spellcasters, and then they just deal hundreds of damage per turn, and then they action surge. to deal more damage.
Hmm.
It's a very well balanced party, which means there's very little I can throw at them that is like fair, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, that monk wouldn't actually do anything because legendary resistances are a thing.
I have a level 20 wizard in the party who will burn through those legendary resistances by using her higher level spells if necessary. And the warlock who has a spell save DC of 22. Um, they can burn through legendary resistances, especially because the monk can also, with every attack, I'm going to keep trying to stun them and take away the boss's turn. And I got two monks. So I got two monks who are trying to stun on each of their four hits that they're doing to take away the boss's turn. It's very difficult. But it's fun. The game is actually making me be a little bit of an artist because I have to draw art for some enemies because it's like I have this idea in my head and I can describe it with words, but I need a token for it to put on the map, and I need a visual. But all that aside, um, yeah, it's been a week. Watched Guardians of the Galaxy the other night with a friend. My friend Dawn. I've been taking her through the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and like by the end of that movie, she absolutely loved it and was just crying because she didn't know why. She just is like, I didn't know that movies could be like that, which speaks to a lot of preconceived notions of how movies are supposed to be. And like, she doesn't like a lot of movies. And this one kind of hit on the core of what she really values in stories. Like every single character she loved, and they all have their own motivations, and they're simple but effective. And there's there's no actual like there's no forced kiss or anything that happens in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like there's a hint at romance, but then more just like, no, I know your tricks, and slaps him away. But that was really interesting. Getting to show a friend that and have them have a very strong reaction like that. Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for my week. Nothing else comes to mind. You know, substitute teaching and all that. Still doing that. You sound like you're falling asleep.
I kind of am. But we're not done. We're not done. And I will stay awake and I will pay full attention while Patient tells us about his week. How's it going, Patient?
Wait, what?
That probably didn't come through as well as you were hoping, Patient.
Of course it doesn't. It never does when I'm wanting it to. Well, this week was an unexpected but welcome extension to my vacation.
Yeah.
Spent the entire week snowed in,
Oh.
which doesn't ever happen in this part of Texas.
Yeah, I've been seeing the crazy stuff happening in Texas. My gosh, are you okay?
I mean, I got lucky. Our power never went out. Our water never went out. We had a boil water notice for a few days. And that was the worst that happened.
I had two friends who were out of power for like days at a time.
Several of my coworkers had to deal with that as well. Some people on my street had to deal with that. Zom also had to deal with that.
Hmm.
I was just incredibly lucky.
The Doomsday Preppers sometimes have a point. A little bit.
Yes. I mean, look at 2020. Now look at 2021.
Hmm.
Things aren't going.
Okay.
Interesting times that we live in. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm. Might be worthwhile to invest in like a portable generator kind of thing. Maybe.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I feel like a lot of those are going to be flying off shelves,
Oh, yes.
so to speak. I mean, they're probably
Aside
pretty
from
big.
that,
Yes.
well, I bought a few games off of the Wii U Nintendo store. Well, no, I bought one off of there. I bought a couple of Jackbox collections off of the Switch store, which I'm going to be playing with my siblings.
Hmm.
That'll be nice.
Those games are fun. I like those.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Gotten partway through Pikmin 2, just replaying that for fun. Uh, I had an interview that was supposed to be 2 days ago, but because of all of the snow, it got canceled. So now on Wednesday, I have to call to see about rescheduling it.
Hmm.
I'm really hoping for this job. That aside, things seem to be unbending a bit more around here. Work has expanded hours again, so that we're actually working 40 hours a week and not having to cut down on our lunch breaks in order to get 40 hours a week. And we're starting at church to, they've finally reestablished the committee for preparing a nice potluck dinner for everyone once a month.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. The first one will be next week.
Nice.
Quite.
Uh, a thought occurs. Bit of a health concern, slightly, though.
Yeah, I mean it's just a slow reaccustoming to it. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be so much of a potluck this time. But I mean I'll look at the details. Aside from that, not sure if there's not sure if there's anything else of significance going on. Uh, we're slowly making progress on the next chapter of this bite, so that's nice. Uh, Lots of moving parts, but we've got a pretty solid outline now for how to get to the end of the chapter, so that'll be nice. Uh, yeah, there's not much else, just matters a bit too personal for me to be sharing besides that.
Hmm.
Oh, I remembered something that I did this week.
Okay.
So my family has been going through the process of taking old family videos and putting them onto DVDs, taking them off the tapes, putting them onto DVD. So the first one we were able to successfully do this for was my brother's 5th birthday party, in which we got to see sort of a family myth and legend of the guy my parents paid to show up at my brother's McDonald's birthday party dressed as Spider-Man.
Wait. This... Was this the horror show one?
This guy shows up. His mask is a different color than the rest of his suit. It's a darker red. And he has tinfoil on his eyes of his Spider-Man mask. Red gardening gloves. Big ol' red boots. And a bit overweight. Has kind of a lopsided spider, red spider on the back that looks like it was just kind of half sewn on. And that's Spider-Man. And by the way, when he walks in, he's doing this weird sort of walk where he has his hands out and like clawed, like he's like, I don't know, doing some sort of spider walk or something. But really, it looks like he's just coming straight from the Monster Mash. It's really bizarre. This guy. $70 my parents paid to have him come out in his Spider-Man costume. We got tired of him after 30 minutes, but he was paid to be there for 4 hours. You could see my younger brother not wanting to look at him, distracting himself with anything, whether it's his toys or what have you, rather than look or talk to this Spider-Man. And it gets to the point where we are there so long at that McDonald's that other kids unrelated to the birthday party are coming in, and then he starts posing and taking pictures with those kids. I can't believe though, like it was worse than I remembered because the tinfoil on the eyes for Spider-Man. I get that you tried, man, but like, come on. It looks very homemade, his costume.
Well, it was.
Yeah, it's his because this happened in El Dorado, Arkansas. You ever hear of El Dorado?
City of Gold.
That's El Dorado.
That's literally the same thing.
You're supposed to say the proper place, El Dorado. No, we call it El Dorado over there.
Okay, how's it spelled?
The same way, but everybody says El Dorado.
Oh, is that so?
Hmm. Yeah.
I think you were just sitting on like a mountain of gold and you didn't even realize, because you were too dumb to realize El Dorado was also El Dorado.
I think that town was and is still dying.
Yeah, they should probably look for that gold.
Maybe it's under the abandoned mall that
Could
only
be.
has a J.C. Penney's open.
You don't fucking know.
Or the closed down CC's Pizza that we used to go to. Or the closed down everything. Oh. But yeah, that was fun. Got to see me and my little brother playing with the toy tank that he got, and Lincoln Log building it together. And it was just nice, wholesome stuff. But we have now on film, in record, the Spider-Man cosplayer that we paid $70 for. Like, I guess he owns like a costume store and does all sorts of costumes and stuff, but like, my parents were like, it was really weird because we just kind of paid him. He just showed up, and we didn't want to tell. Like there was almost no communication there. And then when he left, he was going towards his truck, but all the kids were kind of pressed up against the glass watching him. So he just had to kind of keep running out into the parking lot because he's Spider-Man. He's got to stay in character. He can't just get into a truck and drive away. So he just ran away. What a legend. Anyway, that's it for me.
Okay. Was there anything else, Patient?
No, that's about it for me.
Okay. I did remember one of the things that I mentioned right before we started recording and stuff. Just on a whim, I started counting, like, totaling up the word counts for all my stories. I've written a mega word at some point over the past few months, probably.
Over 1 million. Woo!
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Congratulations. You won a special trophy.
That'd be nice.
If I could visit you in a situation in which I had infinite money and also there was no COVID, I would give you a trophy.
I'd appreciate it.
But as I cannot travel due to the fact that there is an international pandemic and also plane tickets cost money, I am unable to deliver you a trophy.
Right then, let's wrap this up so Casey can.
I would theoretically treasure this trophy to the point where I would put it in a drawer and forget about it. Like, basically everything else that I supposedly treasure but never actually bothered to look at, and just kind of sits in a bin bag in my bedroom for the past 5 years that I've lived in this flat and haven't even moved, and probably is home to a nest of spiders or some shit at this point, frankly. That is where your trophy would go.
Thanks. I really
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, none of that
Let's
was a
let's
lie.
end this.
That is where all of the stuff I care about is right now. It's
Yeah,
just in a
I
bin bag.
believe you entirely with all my heart.
Yeah,
I think you need to go to sleep, though.
I kind of do. Never did finish that chapter that I was supposed to do today. I'll have to finish it up tomorrow. And then the Patreon thing. God damn it.
Wrap us up.
Someone just fucking pinged me. Who the fuck pinged me? We're in the middle of recording. Oh, it's a picture of Tomoe. I'm okay with it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching the Fandom Flux podcast.
Yeah.
Episode whatever.
327. So unprofessional 0. You should know the numbers.
I'm not gonna give you that hypothetical trophy now.
But no, that's not fair. My hypothetical, like, treasuring of stuff. Fuck. Discord.
It's gonna go in your hypothetical drawer.
Patreon. The drawer is not hypothetical. Patreon, link in the description. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Rabbit. Wait, what?